What's the deal, my people? It seems like there's only one person here. That's my man, John Haymaker. At least, what up, Johnny? I'm glad that you're here. At least I know I'll have the amount of likes I'm supposed to have with it just being us. Well, I'm sure a couple of other people will stop by once we get going. But we know, Yellowjackets, unfortunately, the season is over. And a lot of people, season's over and fandom goes away and stuff, and people don't like to talk about it anymore. But I promised you that I will come on here and do at least one live stream talking about wrapping up the whole season and my feelings on the season finale and everything else. So this is what I'm here to do. As promised, I will always keep my word and I'll always do what I got. Now, I know I was supposed to come over here earlier this week, and I could not get here early this week, and that is not my fault. That is the cable company's fault. A big tree fell down and messed everything up and knocked everybody away. I mean, knocked all the internet out for everybody in the block. So had to wait for them to get that fixed before I could do that and everything else and all that stuff and all that good stuff. So we're going to get right into it. As always, Thug Mug is in hand. Thug Mug is in hand. Usually when you go live, it notifies people that you went live, and that's when people show up. Doc, great to see you. Great to see you too, sir. I have the Last of Us live thing on the bottom. Don't worry about that. I should probably just pull it off because it's got nothing to do with The Last of Us. Let's get that banner down. Let's hide the banner. Get rid of that banner. So we're not doing The Last of Us. We are talking Yellowjackets, but we do The Last of Us pregame show. We'll be doing that every 7 o'clock on Sunday. So make sure you come through for that. Also, I will be doing a live stream with Gray. I think we're going to do it every week right after the episode on a Wednesday. But this one that we do right off the bat will be a debate about Joel. And was Joel right to save Ellie, or was he wrong? So we'll be debating that and getting that on and stuff like that. I can't wait to hang out with Gray Area. Have not hung out with her for a little while, at least on stream and stuff. So good to catch up with her and everything else. All right, let's get right into this episode of Yellowjackets. I would say that, we'll take it the whole season as a whole. The first couple of episodes this season, I would say, was a little bit slow, right? But it seemed to find its footing as the series went on, especially the last 4 episodes in a row. I think this was magnificent. The best 4 episodes that they ever did on any season in a row, I would say all came in this season. And if you want to peak, towards the end, I would think, right? And usually I'd say it's season 3 of television shows that shows usually blow up. If you look at the history of television shows where they start off and don't just blow up on season 1, it's usually that 3rd season that gets it. When the Game of Thrones came out, Dan and Dave always said that they just wanted to get to season 3. And if they were able to do the Red Wedding, then they knew that the show would take off then. And when they got to season 3 and they did the Red Wedding, that's when the show exploded, right? Even though it had good fan base from season 1 and 2, it was really that Red Wedding, and that's what blew it up. Same thing when you want to go with Breaking Bad. That's when Breaking Bad really took off. Any show you really look at, The Wire took off in season 3. Well, it's season 3 is really that season that you really got to show out. You know what I mean? And really got to push it forward and everything else. And I think that's when it's supposed to do it and everything else. And I think that they accomplished that with this season. I think that they did what they needed to do, especially at the tail end, by wrapping up a lot of mysteries. Now, you can't have a mystery box shows without mysteries. We all know that. But you gotta do it in the right way. You have to give people answers. People don't want this to hold the mystery forever. People want to actually know what the fuck is going on, right? Especially when you dealt with the Pit Girl. It's been going on from season 1. So you could say you show it on season 1. Season 2 comes up. You don't bring it up at all. People start wondering about it. Season 3, you wrap it up. And that's how you do it, right? That is how it gets done. You know what I mean? You wrap it up. And now it's wrapped up. Everybody knows what it is. Now, a lot of people have guessed, like, with Don himself, that it was Mari. Told you it would be Mari. I know some people thought it would be Hannah, and I told you that Hannah is just too old to play that role. If they would have put Hannah in the role, it would have been a cop out, because they would have just threw her in there, because obviously she looks nothing like the pit girl that we've seen and everything else. But I will say that I thought they did a really good job redoing that whole scene. And I know that they spliced scenes from the original pit girl in there with it, but I think that the whole thing, the way they set the whole thing up and the way they did it, it was just a really good re-showing of that scene and everything else. They did have a little inconsistency with Misty at the end, with her. I did like the fact that we did see her grin in season 1, and we didn't know what she was grinning for. It made you think that she was grinning for a pit girl, but in the end, she was grinning because Natalie was out there with the telephone and everything else. I liked the way it did, but it was a little bit. It was a little bit off on that. Not too much though. Not too much. Doc says I would totally try to take out the base of the firefly. We talking? We're not talking about that, Doc. We're not talking about that. Right? Jeez, we are here talking about everything else. I hope I didn't leave you hanging, John. I shot John right off the bat. John A. Makers in there. Jen is up in here. Timothy Holyfield is in this building rocking with us and everything else. We got a bunch of people. We got over 30 people here rocking with us right off the bat. And thank you for all coming and rocking. I truly appreciate it. 100%. Yes, that was definitely from left field, without a doubt. What is your favorite theory for what the symbol is itself? It just looks like a person. It looks like a person, I would say, with a slice across the front, like it was like the person was killed. And that's what it really looks like to me when I look at the symbol itself. It looks like a person that was killed, and then the hook upside down means that they hung the person upside down by their feet before they sliced them open and killed, because the triangle to me reminds me of a dress. So it's a girl in a dress with a hook underneath it, and I think the hook means that they're hanging upside down, and the slice is how they cut them and kill them. That's what the theory means to me. That's what I think it is. Maybe it's something. Maybe that doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what it looks like to me. That's what I feel when I see the symbol and stuff, and all that good stuff, So, but yeah, so they did a good job with the pit girl stuff and the pit girl situation. They really brought that home. I thought they did a good job with that. The Hannah stuff, they did not leave it. They did not linger with it, right? The Hannah and the Frog Watchers. You could have seen them drag that out for another season, because we've seen before. What's going on, Jess? But we've seen it before with the pig girl. They dragged it out, but no, they didn't drag it out. They took that and they wrapped that up really fast. Now, there is a situation of Hannah still being alive, and we know that Hannah is dead. Now, I was going to do a video on how I believe the rest of the Yellowjackets die and how Hannah dies and stuff. But we'll talk about it right now. We'll just get it out the way. We don't get it out the way, but we'll talk about it right now. How the rest of the Yellowjackets die and how this Hannah died. But before we go into that, let's talk about the adult timeline and how that held up. I think that this season was the first season that I was totally invested in the adult timeline. I think they did a magnificent job of making you want to watch it. Every other time I was just watching because I had to watch it. I did enjoy looking at older Lottie. I ain't gonna lie. I really enjoyed looking at her. Sad that she had to go. But, I did not find it as compelling as the stuff that was going on in the wilderness. But this season, they brought that home and it made me really want to watch that stuff just as much as the wilderness stuff that came out there. I still would lean a little bit towards the wilderness, that I liked watching the wilderness a little bit more. But in the end, I did like the way that it ended up. Now, seeing batshit crazy Shauna was amazing. I'm glad that they did it. The whole Melissa stuff. Again, we got another reveal here. The Don told you there was Melissa. It was Melissa. I'm sure a bunch of other people knew it was Melissa too. And even though they said that Melissa was dead. And we knew that it was her, but I thought the Hillary Swank and the whole character and everything else, and the fact that she got away, I thought was a good situation. It didn't end that character. See, I don't like it when they bring people in and then the person dies that season and then it's over. I hate when they do stuff like that. I like when they have people come in and they last a little while. You know, so we can get to know them a little bit better, you know, instead of just letting them come in, get taken out in a couple episodes and it's gone. That's not the way it should work. It should be that this is a nemesis. We need to get to know this person a little bit better. We need to figure out exactly what's going on with her. And I think that when we see Ty sitting down and talking to Mitzi, and they're over there talking and they're saying, listen, we got to basically team up to take out Shauna. In the beginning, when I first seen it, I didn't think it was going to be Mitzi. I thought it was going to be one of the Yellowjackets from the show. I was hoping that it was Akila. It would be someone like that over there she was talking to, and they were going to do a big reveal there or something like that. Or even if it was Melissa, it would have been a big reveal there. In fact, I think that they missed a chance at this particular time. Now, I don't know how the season goes next season there, but I thought they missed a chance that they could have made that Melissa, and they could have made that more interesting than it just being making me forget this chick's name. That's crazy. That's crazy. What the hell is her name, man? Mitzi. I just said it. Jesus Christ. I mean, I gotta start taking ginkgo or something, but I forget to take it. What happened? Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I don't know if that information is public. It's public here now, but I don't know if it was meant to be. But I will say that I am so sorry for Julie B and her family. My heart and condolences go out to them. And you know, in this trying time, believe you me, I know that feeling of your father passing away unexpectedly way too well. Way too well. And it's a terrible situation. So my heart goes out to Julie B and her family, and I hope she gets through it. And if you need anything, Julie B, and you happen to be watching this, you know you can always contact me and let me know what's going on, and I'll do everything I can to help you and your family. And I'm sorry to hear that. Very, very sorry. All right, let's keep this show rolling and going. So yeah, I thought that they missed a thing there. I think it would have been better if it would have been Melissa instead of Mitzi. I think it would have been better if it would have been a different Yellowjacket other than the ones that we already know about. Now, if they're alive, let's go back. So that brings that point. Did they make it out? And exactly who makes it out of this whole situation? Like, we know the main cast, but does Akila make it out? Does the other Spanish-looking girl there with the cute chubby cheeks, does she make it out there? The one who was trying to sideline them from catching the pit girl, Mari. Does she make it out? And if they don't make it out, how do they die? So let's go through it real quick. So we know that Hannah dies. But the thing about Hannah's death is that we see the obituary, right? So I don't think she dies there. Right? And they said that they kill her, right? But I don't think they could get away with that. You know what I mean? So if they just killed her, let's just say they kill Hannah, but she has an obituary. So everyone knows she dies, right? The cops would have to investigate that situation then, right? We are all in agreement on there, right? That you, and Doc says she made a public post. So, all right. So it is free to talk about. You have to look at that situation. So to me, I think the only way, and the way that they do kill Hannah, and Hannah does die, is that they poison her just like they poison the animals. If they poison her like they do the animals, then she can die, and then they can get away with it and say she must have just ate something poison. We didn't know what she ate. How we know that she ate that stuff? We were out here starving. We was eating anything. She ate something and now she's dead. I think that's the only way that they could get away with killing Hannah, authorities showing up, finding her dead there, or she gets on the plane with them and dies while she's on the plane because of it, which is probably a more likely situation. Now she'll just die on the plane. They'll give it to her. She won't know it's been in the food. She gets on the plane and then she gets taken out by the poison. And then that's how she dies, and that's how they kill her off without her telling. Because they're not going to want to go back, because even though she did commit murder, I mean, if you want to talk about murder, I mean, Lottie committed murder 100%. Them chasing Mari, you could say, is definitely manslaughter in the first degree for chasing her, but she did fall in there on her own. But those two committed murder. She turned around and knowingly murder one. She knew that when she stabbed Kodiak in the eye, she was going to kill him. So even though she does commit murder, it still may not be enough to keep her silent. And I think that is what they're going to be worried about, that Hannah's going to talk, that she's going to tell, even though she ate human flesh and she did all that. She might be more believable than these girls, right? And she might spill the beans on everything. And they may not, and she doesn't seem like a hardened woman that's from the streets. Yeah, Hannah don't feel like she's from the streets. All right, she don't look like she could hold that weight of a murder. It's a heavy burden to hold for the rest of your life on your shoulders. That's not something that you just act like it never happened. I would assume that would come back in nightmares if you're a good person, and all the time it would cross your mind quite a few times in your life. In fact, there have been many people who have done stuff, got away with it, and gave their stuff up just because they couldn't sleep at night anymore because of it. She seems like one of those people, Hannah, that she would not be able to hold the weight of the situation. She would not be able to, even though she committed murder herself, she would not be able to hold that. She would just have to blab it out and tell. And I think that that's what they'll be worried about. They'll be worried that Hannah's going to drop dime and blow everything up. And I think that when it comes down to it, the only way to dispose of Hannah is to give her the poison without her knowing it, obviously. She gets on the plane, or right before the plane gets there, she goes and she dies from the poison. And they just say, well, we were all eating crazy shit. I don't know how she ate it. She just ate it. And that's it. And Hannah's done. Because when you have the obituary, that means everyone in the world knows she's dying. When we seen Shauna's daughter looking up stuff, she was looking up like unsolved murders and stuff, unsolved mysteries. She was looking up there for Canada. All right, this is not an unsolved one. This is right in the obituary that she passed away. So that's how I think she goes out. Now, if you hear anybody else say that, that they're watching on the low, and post that in the video. But to me, that makes the most sense of how Hannah goes out. All right, now as for the other women, there. I think they need one more to make it back. I think it just can't be Melissa. They need at least one more. And when you deal with Akilah, I don't remember seeing her. Can you help me in the chat, maybe, people? Do you remember seeing her at the end scene when they were looking for Natalie? I don't remember seeing her. She could have been in the tent or something, but I don't remember seeing her out there with them. I don't remember seeing her out there in the last scene. The last time I remember seeing her, she was in the cave with Lottie, and she picked up a rock, and she picked that rock up like she was gonna do the business to Lottie. Like, that's what when I seen it, I thought like she's about to smack Lottie in the back of the head with this rock. Like, why else did she pick up the rock? She wasn't working out with the motherfucker, right? But she specifically picked the rock up. Like, for what? For what? For killing? Because you're mad that the animals got killed? Is that what you think was going on there? So I don't remember seeing it. So I don't know if she makes it out that cave. I wish she did, because I think that you could bring on a great actress to play her right now. I think it would be amazing too. I think, and I wouldn't mind another person of color up in the show. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't mind. That's why I don't. That's why her or the chubby cheek girl, the cute chubby cheek girl. I wouldn't mind seeing her as an adult either. She's a little cutie. She got those chubby cheeks that you make you want to squeeze them and shit. And here I'm talking about the ones on the face. All right, you people in the chat. No, your minds, the gutter. That's what they are. Goddamn gutter. Jess says, I wonder if she tries the same thing with the Yellowjackets and underestimates their loyalty to each other. You know, I think that she's so afraid. It seems like she got really close to Shauna for a second. You know what I mean? It seemed like she got close to Shauna. It seemed like she was sucking up to Shauna. You know, and the fact that she betrayed Shauna and Natalie did that, she can always front and say, Natalie put a stick to my neck and told me to strip. And told me that she'd kill me if I say anything. I mean, she could run that because half of it's true. And always half truths makes a lie believable. So she can say, yeah, nah, I changed clothes with her. I changed gear up with her. She put a stick to my neck and told me she's going to kill me, strip, and take her clothes. And I was afraid and stuff, you know? So she could run that, but Shauna's going to be upset with her. But as for Akilah, I don't remember seeing her come out the cave. So I don't know if Lottie did her in the cave. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. If it's anything that's what would have happened. I mean, unless it was Travis, because he's acting real weird and shit, real high and shit, real like drunk and high and seeing shit, talking about Shauna making out with a best friend. Is that guilt inside of him, and that's why he's like, because she was a nice girl, and he did something to her in the cave that they didn't show. And that's why all of a sudden he's fucked up like that. This kid's played it wrong the whole time. Let me tell you something, man. They couldn't have the Don Tony Teflon and 19-year-old Don Tony Teflon in that place with those women. Shit. Are you crazy? This would have been done different. I'm going to tell you that right now. This would have been much different with these chicks up in this place. There would have been a throne, and it would have been my big black ass on it, goddamn it. With one of those chicks on my lap, a different one, whoever I felt like for the day. Guaranteed. The man didn't play it right. How do you know he's a gump? He didn't play that shit, goddamn it. Me, you out of your goddamn mind. Shit. You call me Tony Hefner. Because I would have had them all sewn up. Every goddamn one of them. This would have been some polygamy going on here. A harem of the Don's women. Guaranteed. You goddamn right about that, John Haymaker. They all would have came back pregnant. Every one of them. I would have had 9 babies in the wilderness. 9 of these motherfuckers. One of them gonna make it. You gotta get your odds up there, god damn it. One of these babies gonna make it. It'd been a done deal. At least we would have had some milk. We had all the milk we could drink. All of them titties would have been loaded, god damn it. You wouldn't need that damn goat no more. You wouldn't need that goat. That's right. You goddamn right. The Antler King, like Boris fucking Baratheon. I would have been up there with the antlers on. It would have been like that. You know, Stannis Baratheon. That's the way it would have been running that ship. So I got no respect for Travis. All right. Crackhead Travis over here tripping out and shit like that. He should have had that shit stoned up. No respect for him. And I got no respect for Kodiak either. Kodiak whack. Kodiak come up in this place and all of a sudden he gets stabbed up in the eye by a chick, man. Kodiak should have played his cards right. He just ran. He didn't see they had a gun. He just shot the bullet and the bolt and ran. He should have ran up in there. That's what he should have did. Goddamn. That's what I would have did. That's what I did. I digress a little bit for this whole situation. Let's keep going in this. But yeah, I didn't see Akila. I didn't see her at the feast either. I didn't see her standing outside. There's no mention of her. You think there would be, and there was nothing there, goddammit. So I think she's probably taken out. But I do think that there should be one of them. Once a Jen, one of them got to make it out. I think it has to be someone else, because I don't know how they get rid of them. Unless they poison them all. But I think that only works for one person for the storyline. If they poison everyone, it just seems whack. It's whack like that. Because even if someone make it back, you know what I mean? You would think that maybe they have to kill them when they get back. And I would rather see that. I would rather see some of them make it back. Jen makes it back, and then they feel they can't trust Jen because Jen wants to be a superstar. I know the actress who played Mari was on an interview. I don't know where I seen the interview from or anything. Oh, no. But I know she said that if Mari would have made it back, that she would have soaked in all the attention. She would have took it all. She would have milked it for everything that it was worth. So you would think that maybe they'd be afraid of someone else doing that and then having to take that person out while they're back in the real timeline. Because it all depends how much they do. When they go back. If next season they go back, and I'm figuring that it's ending next season. I don't think they're going to go 5 seasons. They could go 5, but I don't know if they're going 5. I think they really were setting up for season 4 to be the end of it all. It depends, unless this season's numbers were so bonkers and out of the water that they do another season. But that would be the only reason I could say. Jess says Tony would be living large and then draw the Queen of Hearts for the first time. I wouldn't even have to draw. I wouldn't have to draw. I'm the king of spades. All right. I ain't drawing shit. I ain't drawing nothing. I'm the baby daddy. Ain't no one getting rid of me. No one getting rid of me, goddammit. Nobody. I ain't got to draw nothing. They just got to feed me. Yoto says, if Jen and Akila were rescued, you think that they would have been mentioned in the future timeline by now? You know, maybe they didn't mention Melissa until this season. They didn't bring her up, you know, so it could be a situation like that where they didn't bring them up because they wanted to keep it a surprise. And it seems like that a lot of the show that they have a plan, but they want to surprise stuff. You know what I mean? They don't want to just give everything away. So the fact that they didn't mention Melissa, I would say it would be the same exact situation dealing with those two. I don't think they both make it back. I think it'd be one. And if it's Jen, I think they'll kill Jen in the meantime because they're too familiar with murder as adults. Like when Shauna kills her little boyfriend, like she's too quick with it. When Mitzi is, killed Natalie by accident, but she also did the injection into the cigarette. When she's too familiar with it, like this, like they pros at this, like they've done this before as adults. Because what they did out there in the wilderness does not translate to the real world. All right, you're not going to be chasing somebody around the jungle. All right, you're not going to be chasing no one around doing all that craziness and shit. You know what I mean? So I just think that they're too familiar with it. So I think that they may have done this before in the main timeline as children. DLL and Thorough says, didn't the Yellowjackets do something after they were rescued? something that they need to keep quiet? Could it be silencing some of the play? Exactly. That's what we're talking about right now. I think so. And I think that's where they'll go with. That's why I think someone else has to make it back besides the group. So it could be Jen, Akila. I wish it was her, but I am not sure if it's going to be her because I did not see her at the feast. Did not see her in the last scene. Again, the last time I could remember seeing her, unless I'm wrong, is when she was inside the cave with the rock in her hand. So I don't know what's going on. What up to my man KP in the building, rocking with us as always? He's always chilling with us, man. We respect and we love KP, and he bought my goddamn book, and I bought my book, man. I appreciate that. You know, it means a lot to me, man. That means a lot to me, without a doubt. Yurto says, off topic, but I hope we get to see the rescued Travis before I think they're going to see the rescue, but we still don't know exactly who killed Travis, right? That's still a mystery too, right? They've never said definitively who killed Travis, if I'm correct on this. So we still need to figure that whole situation out. And if they have another chick that made it or something like that, then that's how we can got rid of Travis. Because who did? Unless I'm wrong, maybe I forgot something, but I don't think we know who killed Travis in the main timeline. I don't think that's been put out there. Samuel says, plus it's winter and they got at least around 4 months left to go. I don't know. I think they'll be gone. And what's going on? What's going on, Tammy? I think they'll be gone really soon. And everything else. I think they'll be there. She did the phone call. It ain't gonna take them long to get there. It ain't gonna take no 4 months. It's got. How could they? If they make that phone call and it takes them 4 months to be fine, then, and I love Canada and I love the Canadians, maple syrup, Molson, Triple X, and all the beautiful women that are out there. If it takes them 4 months from that phone call to find them, whoever is on that rescue team needs to be fired. All right, it's not hard here. You know where they're at. You know where the frog people went. It's their phone. The people who are with the frog people know where they went. It's not hard to find this radius to find them exactly where they're at. So I can't see that. I give the longest I give them is 1 week from that phone call, which should be sooner than that. But the longest I would give them is a week. So they got a couple of days, you know what I mean, before it all goes down. That's the only way I could see it. Jess says maybe Akila did survive and she was in contact with Travis before it. Maybe. But again, I'm just going by what we've seen. The last time I remember seeing her is in the cave with Lottie when she grabs the rock. I don't remember seeing her at all after that scene. And if I'm wrong, then let me know. Because maybe I could be wrong. But if I am, let me know and everything else. So, it could be a situation, that I'm forgetting here. Tammy says, no way it's months till they're rescued soon, couple of days or something. Yeah, 100%. It can't be that long. They got the goddamn Mounties in Canada. Those Mounties don't play. They don't play the Mounties, man. You see them dressed up there with the pants with the sides that hang out and shit. And I seen the Mountie in the wrestling when I was little, the Mountie. And he wasn't bad at all as a wrestler. The Mounties don't play, man. That's I'm familiar with Mounties because of Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon and wrestling. that is my. That's why I know about the damn Mounties. That's it. No other experience to them at all. Do that. Thank God for wrestling, man. Thank God for wrestling. I wouldn't know shit about nothing but one for these damn shows that I watch. But yeah, that's right. No, the Mountie. That's it. That's my experience with the Mountie as professional wrestler. Oh, that'd be funny. That's for Eddie Jones. Says Nat will tell them that a certain number are alive, and when they get there will be 2 or 3 less awkward. Yeah, I don't know if the phone didn't have a lot of power, and they made it. They put that out there for a reason. that the phone didn't have a lot of power. So you would have to think that while she's on the phone, it's going to run out of power, right? There's no other reason for them to bring up the fact the phone didn't have power unless it's going to run out of power, all right? So while the conversation's going on, the phone's going to have to run out of power, but she's going to be able to go back and say, I got in contact with somebody. Right now, if she says, hello, hello, and they said, yeah, we hear you, and the shit just cuts off right then you could talk about it being a couple of weeks then, because they don't have any information. They would have to do that. Comes off a satellite phone. Maybe they could ping the satellite phone somewhere and then figure it out. But that may take a little bit longer. That would be the only way it could take it. If not 7 days, the most. 7 days, the most. Without a doubt. It just says, we're a passive nation, but when we commit to something, we don't fuck around. Rescue is an hour away. Are you a Canadian? Are you really Yurtos? Well, your name is Yurtos, and I believe that the first time I heard about a yurt myself is Canadian. That's how I know what a yurt is, through Canada. Or I have no idea what a yurt is. But I do believe, are yurts Canadian? I think so. I think the first time I ever heard of a yurt was due to watching some Canadian show. Without a shadow. And I wanted one. I said, this is cool shit. Oh, New Brunswick. All right. New Brunswick in the building, rocking with us right now. We got Alexa. I wish Shauna would fall in the pit in the 90s so we don't have to look at her in the present timeline. I think she's going to go to jail. I think she goes to jail. He says just some bullshit when he was a kid. I got you. I think she goes to, in fact, she might outlive them all. It might be that may be her fate to outlive everybody, but she's going to be in jail while she outlives them all. Because again, she wants to be the antler queen again in her life. Well, if she's a stick-up chick in prison, she could run the prison. She could run all of the women in the prison, and she could be that antler queen in jail again, in prison. I think she goes to jail. I think one of them has to go to jail. I think another one will stay. Again, Mitzi is the popular answer. So I'm going to say Ty because Mitzi is the popular answer. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to say Ty just because it's too popular for everyone thinks it's going to be Mitzi. It makes perfect sense for it to be her. You know what I mean? But in the end, I'm just going to say Ty just for the fact this to be different. I don't have any proof or anything that makes it, but I think that for her story, it makes the best sense if she does live. Number one, she does have a son out there that she could reconcile with. She has an ex-wife that she can reconcile with. She could straighten her whole life up and then just go back to them and live a normal life. No one else has a story like that has bodies on them like that. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't have, Ty doesn't really have dirt on her hands like that. You know what I'm saying? All these other chicks is dirty as hell. Mitzi committed 2 murders. Ty really ain't, you can't tie her to anything. You can't tie to nothing. You can't tie to nothing. She got nothing on her hands. Right? You can't put her on anything. You know what I mean? And so when it looks like to me, she would be the one that makes it, turns her life around. It makes more sense for me for her being that. And listen, I just made all that up right now when I said I'm going with Ty. I came up with that whole storyline in my head right now. That's how the Don work. All right, Allison Z says, Tony, you are the best filled too. Can't wait for this week's Last of Us pregame show. We're a couple of days away from that. And Allison Z, I hope that you come back on Wednesday, because Wednesday, the gray area and the Don Tony Teflon will be rocking on The Last of Us. We're going to do it every week on Wednesday at around 7 o'clock. recapping the episode. But we're going to give you a special treat before that happens. We are going to have a debate this Wednesday on whether Joel was a hero or a villain for saving Ellie. We're going to go through that. We're going to debate. And if anyone knows me and Gray, we have debated many topics, many a times, whether it was, is Catelyn Stark good or bad or whatever. We have done it millions of times. And we're going to do it again. And we're going to see what it is and how it goes. So make sure that you know that you subscribe to the channel. I know you are. And you have notifications, and you should see it. It should be up there right now, the thumbnail and everything else for it. I put up there and everything. I put a quick thumbnail up there. I'll probably change it before the week's up. I put something quick up in there. Let me go through some of these questions. Again, the phone lines are open if you want to talk. Let's go through this. I think Shauna is going to hunt Callie down and gain the power of the wilderness and become the Antler Queen again. Lottie almost told Callie that she had more of a connection to whatever. Well, she basically did tell her that she had more of a connection to the wilderness than Shauna, and Shauna was jealous because of it. I don't know if Shauna goes that far to the point where she hunts her own daughter down to kill her, like in the wilderness. That may just be a tad too far. All right. I don't know if they do that in this right now. I just don't think that she's fleet of foot enough to catch Callie at this stage in her life. Like maybe 15 years ago, Shauna would have been able to do it, but this modern day Shauna, who's just been a housewife sitting around, she was winded just from the little fight that she had. You see, Melissa took off running down the road and everything. She was in shape. Shauna wasn't in shape like that. Not at all. Shauna was not in shape like that. Tanya Turner says, Teflon, you are a master. I am a master debater. I sure the fuck am a master. I am very confident in this debate. In fact, obviously, I put out my video today about how I felt. Gray will have her video. It should drop either today or tomorrow about the same thing. And then we'll see when we get on the stage together. In the end, when you debate the topic, it's nothing that is conclusive that can be quantified one way or the other. It's just opinion. And you people will have the last say of who you think won the debate and who do you side with, because we'll have the poll up the whole time. And you'll be able to pick in the end and all that good stuff. And everything, yeah. The linebacker show. Yeah. You know, linebackers ain't running that far. It's not DB, Shauna. It's linebacker. They say if she's close, she gets it. She gets it. You're close. You know, but you're a little ahead of her. You ain't got nothing to worry about. And I think Callie's too fleet of foot to do that. It would be, it would be a really dark turn to have her turn on her daughter like that. I don't know if they'll really go down that road to make her that much of a psychopath. I mean, they have hinted of her, that not hinted, yeah, obviously they've shown that she is a psychopath, but to harm her daughter, even if she harmed Jeff, that wouldn't be as bad as harming her daughter. To harm her daughter, to hunt her daughter, to want to eat her daughter like that would be, I don't know if they would go that far with her. I don't think that she could do it. A real cinema therapy says, I don't think Shauna believes in the wilderness stuff. Shauna likes the power and the control over others. Yeah, I agree too. I don't think she truly is a wilderness believer. I don't think she's I think the only one who's a wilderness believer is Lottie. I think that Ty started to come around because of Van's condition. And Van started to come around because she got a better diagnose when that guy died, and she's just grasping at straws because she wants to live a little bit longer. But I don't think that she was truly a believer until that exactly happened. So I think the only one who really believed it is Lottie. Lottie is the only one who believed it. And Lottie was crazy. All right. So it makes sense for her to believe it all. Shauna just wants to be somebody. And if you go back to everything that she's been through from season 1, that's all she's ever just wanted to be somebody. Even that's the reason why she had the affair to begin with, because she wanted to live. She wanted to feel alive. She wanted to feel like she was somebody. She's felt like she's nobody, that she's living a mundane life, going to the grocery store, raising a kid, killing rabbits in the back. It's like she doesn't do anything. Like, so life is so boring, it's so mundane. It's just like when they showed the flash of her in the supermarket just checking out groceries. That's just what it was. And she just wanted to feel alive again. And that's why you seen her jump off the bridge with the guy into the water and do like she was just trying to feel alive again. And that's it. And sometimes if you're a woman or a man, if that's your thing, some new dick would do that for you. I think a lot of married women, and I'll give you some Tony Teflon, Tony Teflon, knowledge here. A lot of married women, when they get married and they're with their husband for a while, they start to feel unattracted to their husband because of their the chase is not there. Women are used to being pursued. That's the way the world works. That's the way the world always worked. Women get pursued by men. And I think that when that pursuit is done and the man gets her and marries her, he doesn't pursue her because he has her. And I think that women always like that pursuit. They always want to be pursued again. And when they're not pursued, in my opinion, they get bored and they want to feel needed like that. So they might just be like in love with their husband and still love him, but it's not the same as when he was pursuing her and he was doing all the things to get her because he already got her. And I think Shauna went through that, and that's why she had the affair. That's why she felt more alive. But then she felt like the guy had ulterior motives, and that's why she stabbed him, even though he didn't. But her head's so messed up, that's where it was. So I think that's what it is and everything. Susie Red says, LOL, and I said, no save. I mean, I'm not, listen, y'all do what you gotta do. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I respect everybody, and I want everybody to be happy. And I think everyone has the right to be happy with whoever they want to be happy with. And I'm happy for them to be happy. And that's it. My daughter is married to a woman, and my grandson is raised by both of them. And I'm very happy for him. I think my grandson could be in a better situation. I think he's in the best situation he could possibly be in to help him get to where he has to be in life. 100% and all that. So that's what I feel like. And I think that's what was going on with Shauna and everything else. And I think that's what it still is for, So I don't know if I can pronounce we're just gonna call you Caesar. All right, Caesar says it says Czar, which means Caesar. So we'll call you Caesar, baby. Right. See, looking back on everything she's done, I can't believe I miss how deranged she actually's been throughout the show. I think that they've shown it and they've hinted at it, but they did a lot. You know what I mean? They did a lot to hold it back until this season to go to give you the full Monty of Shauna this season. First she did a little strippy strip for us, right? The other seasons. She might have flashed the boobs a little bit there. A little burlesque show she was doing the whole time. The little burlesque show. She might have flashed the boobs in season 1. Pulled away the skirt with the G-string in season 2. But she came butt naked in this motherfucker. Full Monty. She let it all out and was twerking it in our face this season, for lack of a better term. For lack of a better term. Yeah, she was doing it all. So there's no denying what she is. But I think that's the way that they did it for her, and they released her craziness. I think it was like that. That's the way it was going down with her. I think that's what it was. But yeah, all of them have issues, and it's not because of some supernatural power there. It's just when you eat someone, I think that happens here. I would assume that's how everybody. I would assume that's how everyone would act if they ate their friends. All right. I'm being honest. I don't know. I don't want to eat my friends. But I would think that anyone like them acting like that is natural for eating your friends. I think that could be the natural disposition that you get after eating your friends. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I would think and everything. I mean, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. No. I don't. No, I don't want to eat my friends. No, I don't eat my friends, Tanya. Torn Turner. I don't know. Not like that. Not at all. Not at all. The Don. I don't do that. It would have to be desperate times. Call for desperate measures. So again, we'll go back to it when we're looking at all the characters and everything. I think that this is this season, bringing it all around, to me is the best season of them all. I know people may say season 1. I think season 1 may have had, from first episode to last episode, more episodes that were better. But I think these final 4 episodes were so good that it trumps everything that was done in all prior seasons. I think those episodes were so stellar. Like, I would believe that they would get nominated for something in this, like the actresses, the show, for the episodes. But I just think that the competition is too much. When we look at everything, from White Lotus is going to get a lot of nominations. Adolescence is going to win every category that it's in. I don't think they have enough firepower to win it. Kind of like, but they deserve to. And any other season they could have. But they'll be going up against some juggernauts when it comes down to it. And I just don't know if they'll get over the hump for it. You know what I mean? It's like, look, Lovecraft Country, to me, was robbed at least of one award. They could have got something. They would have had 13, 14 nominations and walked away with nothing. And Mayor of Easttown just swept everything that year. Just swept everything. The actress who plays teen Shauna could get it. She deserves it. What would she be? Best supporting actress? Right? If she goes up with best supporting actress, 100%. She could get that. But then you're going to have that lady from Adolescence, who was the psychiatrist for that one episode, might get nominated for best supporting actress in that role. And she'll win it. And it's not fair that someone would only have an hour of an episode and win it for an hour, and she's put in hours of work and didn't get it. Well, probably if you added up her whole scenes together, it probably is 1 hour. You know what I mean? It probably is an hour in the end, right? So, but that lady, psychiatrist, they will win every award that any one of them are put up with. The best actor is going to go to the kid, if he's the main actor, or the father who played the guy who played the father in Adolescence. Best supporting actor, supporting actress, they'll get them all. They'll get all the big and show of the year. In the end, they'll get them all. But no, 100%. She could. Natalie, the actress who played Natalie, could be up for it. She's amazing. She was amazing this season. She deserves to get it. She's up there without a shadow of a doubt. But it's just you look, you start thinking they're gonna say Parker Posey is gonna be in there for up for a award. You know, there's gonna be people there for these awards, and I think that it may not go that way for them when it's all said and done. I think that would be the problem for it. This is same problem it was for Lovecraft Country, who deserved to win something but wound up winning nothing because Mayor of Easttown was a juggernaut, and everyone. And I loved Mayor. I loved Mayor. I got great reviews on Mayor. Got great video views on Mayor. Not as I didn't love it as much as I love Lovecraft Country, but it did what it did, and that's just the bottom line. You know, you can't change history. You can't do nothing. That's what it was. And the people that were in Mayor of Easttown were deserving. I thought Jonathan Majors was more deserving than the detective in Mayor, but he should have won. I thought Letty Lewis should have won something in there, but going up against Mayor and all this, you murder my dirter, you murder my dirter, then you murder my dirter. You know, it became a part of zeitgeist. Just like they just did with the White Lotus on Saturday Night Live. And they're doing a parody of that, which they were wrong for doing that on my girl. All right. They made fun of my girl, her teeth and everything's disgusting. I liked everything else about it, but there was no need to do that. I thought they crossed the line. And I love jokes and everything else, but it was really just to be mean and cruel to her. And it wasn't funny to me about it. And I love that actress now after watching, but you know, I love jokes, and a joke is, and you can make fun of people and everything else, but the way they did it and the way they put it out there, it was just to be making fun of her teeth, and the fact that people in Hollywood all the time try to get people to change their image, and hopefully she never does, and she keeps her teeth looking the way she always does, and stays true to herself. Because that same happened to the actress who played in Dirty Dancing, and they convinced her to change her nose, and she never got another role after that. She changed her nose, and she wishes she never did that, because that nose made her stand out, and she should have just accepted. But that's Hollywood. Anyway, besides all that, back to this. We'll wrap this up soon. I won't be on much longer, and anything else. It won't be on much longer. But we'll wrap it up. Or won't be on much. Again, if you want to call in, you can call in really quick and everything else. And we'll and I will take your calls. If not, we'll make this just a quick hour stream real quick for y'all, so y'all have your whole night to get to, and y'all can chill. In fact, for these last, what I'll do, for these last 10 or so minutes, I will do an Ask Me Anything about any topic or any show or anything in my life or anything you want to know. You could put it in the comment section right now, and you could ask me whatever you want. So here the clock is ran and everything else. And let's see. Allison Z says, Tony making a date texting with a girl. No, actually, that was somebody who just asked me, what am I doing? And I said, why? So I am not making any plans for a date right now. I do have a breakfast that I'm going out with a woman very soon. I don't really do dates. You know, I like to go to breakfast with women. That's like my first thing that I'll do, is I'm willing to take you to breakfast or to brunch, because I don't think that there's any pressure there. I think when you take a woman out for dinner, they start thinking that the guy wants to sleep with them because they spent some money on some steak and some drinks, and that they're expected to do that. I think that when you go on a breakfast or a brunch date, that takes all that off the table, and a woman could be more comfortable to be who she wants to be. So that's why I do that. All right, we'll take this call. We'll still do Ask Me Anything after the call. So we'll pause the clock.
To accept, press 1. To send.
You're rocking with the Don Tony Teflon. Who we talking to, man?
Oh, Tony, hold on. Let me set myself up. Let me go to the other room because the TV is still on and the remote control isn't working. I don't have batteries. All right, Tony. How are you guys? How are you going?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, KP?
I mean, listen, couldn't be better. I slept all day. My family's in Jamaica, having a hell of a time.
Nice.
So I am just here, just getting some work done. Well, that's my excuse, but I'm just gonna have a nap. I'm just gonna have several naps until they come back.
I loving
But
that. Loving that. But nap is
I
good.
have questions about. I have questions.
You can anything.
Yellow Jacket is still. I still haven't gotten it yet, you know. So let me throw my questions. Well, first, I'm gonna say something that I thought were really cool about the episode.
Okay.
The idea of Shauna's tyranny in the 90s, where Teen Shauna showed her dictatorial control, rejecting rescue and terrorizing the group with a gun, and then the cruelty kind of picks up when she shoots Melissa for going against her and belittles her and all that. You know, I thought that was interesting to see that develop. If you understand what I'm saying, does that make sense?
100%.
Like, it was interesting to see how she came into to become this this Hitler-esque character, this all-powerful character that everybody was afraid of. The other thing is Van's hallucination quest. She's dying of cancer. She has a vision of herself as a teenager, and she's looking for treasure, which leads her to a real-world crossing, an X, where she sees Melissa. And my question on that is, because I have a belief about what it means. But my question is, what do you think that entire hallucination meant? What part does that play in the game?
Yeah, so X marks the spot means that's where she had to go, and the treasure was saving Ty. She had to get to that spot in order to save Ty's life for the events that happened in the future. She always was a big fan of shows like The Goonies and Searching for Buried Treasure and shows like that. So she felt that she was going to be the hero, find it and walk away with it. But as her younger self told, the hero doesn't always survive. Her treasure that she found was saving the love of her life from what she was going through and bringing her back from the dead. So that's
agreed. And I thought it was a very interesting way to show that. You know, I mean, there's a million ways that you could have made that point, but I thought it was a very unique way to show that. Given that they've discussed her love of the Goonies and all these different things before, she likes treasure hunts. So I thought that was an interesting way to show that off. So Van is dead, and Melissa did it. But do you think? Why do you think she did it? Is it her belief in the wilderness that caused her to kill?
I don't know if it's the belief.
Calculated?
Yeah. I don't know if it's the belief in the wilderness as much as it is she had. To me, it wouldn't matter if she did believe in the wilderness. She had every right to kill every one of them. They broke into a house and tried to kill her. So she had every right to do it. Now, you wanted to, whether she said she did make a comment before she left, like it was something to do with the wilderness, right? So she could have, but in the end, to me, if she was justified for doing it for the treatment that she got from. So I don't really look that deep into it.
Yeah, I think so. I think they purposely kind of threw that in there to make it seem as though, because the feeling I kind of got was that she kind of forgave them. She didn't want any more drama. But then I don't think she ever forgave them. I think that was just an idea. That was just a way of like calming things down until she got her opportunity to take them out. But I think there was an idea in the show that it'll be fine. She ain't gonna do nothing. She'll be fine. And then she kind of proved that. Oh no, I am as evil as any one of you guys. I am just as evil and just as willing to murder as any one of you guys. The last little thing I'd ask. Well, this goes back to something we discussed last week or week before. The black box sabotage and the idea of that being exposed. I don't necessarily have a question on that. I just kind of wanted to know how do you like how that played itself out?
Yeah, I do, because I didn't think they were going to go back to it or even mention it, and the fact that they did go back to it,
you were saying that last time. You were saying that last time that they probably never even going to talk about that.
Yeah, I didn't think they would, and the fact that they did, I'm happy that they did.
Me too. And so this is my last one, which is so the death of Van impacts the finale. It has fans like people wondering, how Ty, Shauna, Misty, and the others will react, and whether there'll be some sort of a reckoning with Melissa or with the idea of the wilderness itself. Are they going to attack the wilderness as well? Because this is how the episode ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger. What do you think is their next move has to be?
Next news for the show.
So, not necessarily for the show, yes, and the characters who were impacted by Van's death, and it seems as though like Ty, for example, Shauna.
All right.
How do you think they're going to react to this thing? Are they going to attack the wilderness? Are they going to attack somebody else?
No, I think we've seen her and Mitzi talking together. They got to come up with a plan to end. They're going to have come up with a plan to kill Shauna.
So you think that is so said, so done? It'll just be a matter of them executing Shauna, and that will end. That would quench their thirst to get over this thing.
Yes, without a doubt.
Okay. I just just one or two little quick notes. I've been doing a lot of online discussion, particularly on Twitter, with people shocked over Van's death and the speculation about Lottie's killer. Obviously, everybody thinking Melissa is the killer, but I think that's a little bit too on the nose. And then key details. There are a lot of very interesting plots and theories about what's going on here in this show, in this world, with these people. Some people are saying that this is a cycle, that there's always a group of girls on that island, and they always revert back to
KP. Just listen to the Don. You know I'm always right. I've been right this whole damn season. I'm always right. Why are you even talk to those? You know, this is what it is, brother. This is what it is. And again, I hope that you are around on Wednesday during me and Gray Area stream. You're gonna be there, right?
Yeah. I'll come through. I'll be there watching.
All right.
Because I know she has some alternative beliefs as well.
No, we're gonna get into it. We already got into it on the phone already, so it's gonna be some getting into.
So just to clarify, you think this is a one-time thing? You don't think this is like a part of a cycle where some people?
It's no cycle. This is just a one-time thing that just happened to happen.
Yeah, and I believe Gray kind of is more on the side of no. This happens a lot, and it probably happens not just in this one place to other groups, but in different places with different groups, and there's some sort of there'll be some sort of reckoning, them coming together and fighting one another at some point. So Outcomes Raise, I think the most simple thing is kind of the most simple thing, the most obvious thing is probably the thing. So I agree with you. So all right. So I mean, listen, I'm enjoying the show. I'm not. I binge watched it. So so I'm not as deep in the lore as you are. But I'm getting there. I'm getting to understand.
You'll get there. You watch the whole thing again. By the time it airs again, you'll be 100% in.
Yeah, I imagine so. I imagine so. All right, Tony. Well, listen, it was good talking to you. Hello to everybody in the chat. Hope everybody has a good evening. Happy Good Friday to one and all. Our Savior has died, and we pray that we pray that He does rise in the next 3 days. So everybody have a good night, and I'll be watching any TV.
All
So
right, my
keep
man.
it easy. Cheers.
Peace. That is the great KP calling in there. Thank you, Kelly Johnson. Kelly Johnson has the first super chat I've gotten in a month. Thank you so much. I can always depend on you, Kelly. Thank you so much. Thank you. He says T expands his expertise from GOT to Yellowjackets. Well, Kelly Johnson will let you know that when Duncan Egg comes back on, I'll be doing live streams with Miss Duncan the Tall and Gray Area and the rest of Dire Wolf City. We'll be going back to do all that. Gray Area will be on this Wednesday. We're going to rock every Wednesday for The Last of Us. I am also considering going back and doing some new Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire content, since I've been getting a lot of views off these videos that I did 7 years ago recently for some reason. All right, back to the Ask Me Anything. This is your time to ask me anything. I was talking about, so when I go on a first date or something with someone, a woman, obviously I try to make it brunch or breakfast. I try to do that. That's the best way. And I would think I think that if you're a man out there, take the Don's advice. It makes a woman feel more comfortable when she doesn't feel like there's anything. Especially, listen, and you go early in the morning. If that shit don't work out, you got the rest of your day and your night. You know what I'm saying? You got the rest of your day, your night. You can fuck about this motherfucker. All right? It works all the way around. You know what I mean? So, church, if y'all have never tried that out, take the Don's advice and give that a shot. Kelly Johnson, thank you again for my second super chat in the month. T, would you put hands on Alien Bright Flame like this, son? It would be it wouldn't take long for me. I'm from Queens, New York, Kelly. You know what I do, man. I'd be killing these people. It would be real fast. They couldn't do anything else. All right, any questions? Anything you want to know about anything? Anything. The clock is running. Anything you want about anything. My old boyfriend took me to a comedy club on our first date. I love going to comedy clubs. I will take women to comedy clubs, but not the first date. First date's got to be something simple, and I got to get to know you. I can't sit through a whole comedy show and I don't know you like that and everything else, and we ain't cool like that. We have a really big television and film coming out this year. What are you looking forward to the most? I'm going to go see Sinners tomorrow. Probably Fantastic Four. I'll go see that in the movie theater. I'll probably see Superman in the movie theater. That's probably the end of my movie theater stuff. As for, I would say probably in the Night of the Seven Kingdoms is what I'm looking for. But I'd rather see From than anything. I give all that up to see another episode of From. But I don't think it comes out this year. So probably Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Also looking forward to the Dexter Resurrection. I'd like to see that too. So probably those shows are probably what I'm looking forward to the most right now. There is no From news out right now. Nothing new came out. Again, Kelly Johnson, thank you so much, man. I truly appreciate it. You think Duncan Egg will repair the damage House of the Dragon did to the franchise? I don't know if it can repair it, but I think it could jumpstart it back to a whole different thing. I hope the thing about it is, can it draw in other fans that are not just Game of Thrones fans? People who left Game of Thrones. Could it just be that? And I think it can be, because it's such a small story based around two people instead of bouncing from here to there to this to that and all the dragons and all this other stuff. I think when you cut all that out and you just have a guy there that people can just follow the guy around like Kung Fu the Legend and his little sidekick, that it could tap into that. So that's what they would have to do. And I think it can do something like that. I think it's a good chance. KP said, I haven't dated in a while, but they say women these days under 35 aren't looking for love. They're looking for help financially. Has that been your experience? Well, I really don't date women under 35. So I don't know if that is what it is. So I would say, not that I haven't, I understand it's not a regular basis. I would say that it's I think that you can't just paint all women with a broad brush. I think that there's a lot of women out there from the beginning of time that are out there for dough, and there's a lot of women out there for something else. So it all depends on the woman. I wouldn't just brush them with a broad sort. That's incel stuff, and people who do that are this incontinent. Incel people are just so, they have no game, and they're just so they have no confidence in themselves, and their confidence is so low that they rather go back to the times where men just control women so they can control the women that they want. And I think that these incel dudes also, they don't know how to date on their level, that they always want something above their level. And you shouldn't be going after, you're a certain level. It's because someone's above your level, above your wage or whatever, doesn't mean you're above your wage or above your looks, and now you want her, but she don't want you. So now you want to go back to these days where you can control a chick because you feel she don't want you. Listen, date your age, date your wage, date your level, and you'll be fine. You have to worry about that. DNA might have brighter outlook than House of the Dragon. I think it can. Just because of the full scale of it and stuff. Let's take this 868.
I got something to say.
All right, you gotta do it quickly. I get out of here.
Yeah, Tony, Karen again, KP again. Listen, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in about what you just saying because I agree with you, and I have a lot of friends in real life and online, but in real life, who expound and transmit that kind of energy that women are only looking for. Women don't love men; they just want our money, and I disagree with them, but I understand why they think the way they think. This is my, and you'll tell me if I'm wrong when I lay this out, right? But this is the way I see it, based on my observations of how they operate. Back in the day when I was looking for a wife, my wife and I have an 8-year age difference. She's about to turn 28 on May 12th. And I'm 30, and I'm 36. So we have a bit of an age difference, but we've been together since she was 21 and I was whatever age I was. But what I see is, as you said, men don't want to date inside their own category, inside of their own league, as Americans would say. So many times a gentleman, and I'm in real estate, but I worked in oil and gas and banking before, and especially in the oil and gas world where guys go offshore and make a bunch of money. You will see these gentlemen. A guy will go offshore for 2 months. He'll make $100,000. Mm-hmm. Very, very, very possible. That is actually a very not low, but a very average kind of earnings, right? So when he comes out with his $100,000, now he's back on shore for a month. He wants to flash that money as much as he possibly can, mm-hmm. And then he wants to be surprised when he's a 4 in the face, and he wants to be surprised when an 8, a 9, a 10 says yes to a date with him, goes to the most expensive place, but orders the most expensive food. Then perhaps she even gives him a little sam lum bum bum bang bang bang, and following that, going forward, it seems to him that she only wants him around when he's providing a financial benefit to her life.
All right.
And my question to him usually is, if you advertise free money, when people come for the free money, why are you mad? Because that's what you advertise.
All right.
However,
wait, I can't.
Go on.
Let me answer. I gotta hang up. It's been over 3 minutes in this call, so let me hang up and I'll answer your thing, and then I gotta get right off here.
All right? Sure. All right. Yeah.
All right. All right. So when dealing with guys who flash cash and do things like this, it's dudes do that because they do not have any confidence in themselves. If you have confidence in yourself, it doesn't matter about the amount of money you have. You wouldn't even show it. I've been around a very filthy rich white people. And I always tell people, every time I've been around the richest white people, them dudes were Ralph Lauren polos and New Balance. But when you be around rich black people, they got gold chains here, gold chains that. They're driving this, they're driving that, because they got to show everybody that you're rich. But when you're rich, it's like being a king. When you're the king, you don't have to tell anybody you're the king. Everyone just knows it from the way you are. But it seems like black people, my people, have to go above and beyond to try to prove that they're rich to people. There's no need to do that. And I would say that this is what I would say to all the men out there and anything else. If you're trying to be, if you want to be a superstar, if you want to have game, and I know your toe said it's not about, no, it's about confidence game. No, some people have no game. Some people are just corny and they're cornballs and they have no game. But the best thing you do, instead of spending money on all those jewelry, spending money on all those expensive clothes and everything else and all that, go to the gym and work out. All right. If you have a nice body, you could wear a $1 white t-shirt and look better than somebody in a $2,000 outfit. If you have some skinny person, an out of shape person in a $10,000 outfit, and you're in shape and go in a fucking Fruit of the Loom white t-shirt, you will look better than that person. And the person who has the money will be intimidated by you because of the way you look just by working out. And that's something that a man can do that a woman can't do with certain body parts and all that stuff. But a man can always go to the gym and work that body out and get yourself looking right. All right. You can always shave your face, cut. And I guarantee, just do it. All you got to do is do it. And if you do that, I guarantee you will get what you're looking for. That's what it comes down to. Just, you will have that confidence will all come to you when you look in the mirror and you feel good about yourself and you put on a 99-cent t-shirt and a pair of jeans and go out, and you'll pull more chicks than some skinny guy with no body who's got $1,000 watch on his wrist. And the only person that he actually is going to pull is someone who just wants him for his money. But the chicks will want you from you because they'll see the way you take care of yourself. All right. That is what it is, because women realize that it takes a long time to put in that work to get that body. And that takes dedication. And women are attracted to dedication when it's all said and done. And that's the bottom line. All right, let me get up out of here. And yes, wash your ass. All right. As Jen Britt said, please wash your ass. I just think that's a given, but maybe people don't know. Wash ass. All right. Thank y'all for rocking with me. I truly appreciate it. I'll be back Sunday at 7 o'clock to do the Last of Us pregame stream. And then I'll be back again on Wednesday with Gray Area to rock that. You know what I mean? Hopefully. And thank you, Kelly Johnson, for another super chat there. Can't wait to see Dunk put them hands on me either. I can't wait. Won't be season 1 though, but I can't wait to see it. All right. If you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the room, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay